All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Chicago Bulls just got a win against the Milwaukee Bucks. We're rolling, baby. We are absolutely rolling. Stole a game number 2, headed back to Chicago for Friday. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to go ahead and go as far to say that the Bulls are going to win this series. I still probably would have the Bucks in 6, but this is awesome, man. The Bulls played a really solid defensive game on, Sunday. Just weren't really able to put the ball in the basket enough. And you come out today and you do a little bit of both. You play some really solid defense. You show up when it matters. Chicago's had issues beating good teams all season. And tonight on the road against the defending champions, I mean, that's really impressive, man. It's a really impressive victory for Chicago. I'm absolutely fired up right now. We're live here in Chicago. It's been rainy all day, but welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that like button, hit that sub button, post NBA content every single day, covering the entire NBA playoffs. Let's try and hit 115 likes for the Chicago Bulls victory. Friday's going to be sick. Game 3 is going to be sick. As a Bulls fan, this is what I was thinking. At the beginning of the series, I initially tweeted out Bucks in 6, but being a little bit more realistic, I was anticipating the Bulls winning game 1 and then losing the next 4. The way I saw it is you have game 3 going back to Chicago and it's a tied series. Well, I was wrong. They lost game 1. They ended up coming back even better. Game 2 played an all-around sound game, turned the ball over a little bit, but for the most part, this was as textbook as a victory as you possibly can get against such a talented team, the number 3 seed, the Milwaukee Bucks. So, amazing game, and it was led by DeMar DeRozan, 16 of 31 from the field tonight, 41 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, no threes, literally 0-2 from downtown. DeMar is critical in this series because, if you haven't been paying attention to the NBA playoffs last, half decade, DeMar kind of has this persona named DeMar DeFrozen once it gets to the playoffs, and Game 1 was just a bad game all around offensively for pretty much every single player on the Chicago Bulls. Game 1 sucked offensively. It was inefficient, missing a ton of shots, missing a ton of everything. And so you have DeMar, kind of that guy, drops 41. Game 2, that's what you need. The playoffs are superstar driven. They're superstar driven. And you look at Milwaukee, you look at Chicago, one of them has Giannis. Giannis is a hell of a basketball player. So you need DeMar DeRozan. You need Nikola Vucevic. You need Zach LaVine. You need your stars to show up against the defending champions Milwaukee Bucks, especially when you're on the road and have a 30% chance statistically to win a basketball game. It wasn't just DeMar. DeMar got the main bulk. Nikola Vucevic. Bulls fans, we've been giving him a hard time all season. We've been giving Vucevic a hard time all season because he's not always the best defender. He's not always the most efficient shooter. He got off to a brutal start just offensively shooting-wise. But he shows up when it matters. You got to be real. I'm so glad we acquired Vucevic a year and a half ago. I'm very glad. Yeah, you could probably have a better center, like a Joel Embiid, but we have Vucevic. I don't have any complaints. He shows up when it matters, and he showed up tonight. He made big-time stops, made big-time buckets when he had to. That's what he does. That's what he does tonight. 24 points, 13 rebounds, had a steal. Very efficient, 10 of 18 from the field, and an even better 4-8 from downtown. That was kind of the thing to me, game 1, was the Bulls had open shots, particularly Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic, game 1, had a ton of open shots. A good amount of open looks, particularly from the 3 or just a mid-range or even a deep 2, and they just weren't falling. Vucevic is a very skilled, very crafty scorer, and you can't take him lightly. And tonight he demonstrated exactly why, and he was a huge reason for the Bulls' win. Lastly, we have Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine didn't shoot too much tonight, 20 points, 7 of 13, 3 of 4 from downtown. But, when you have DeMar dropping 41 and you got Vucevic dropping 24, what do you need from Zach LaVine? At least 20. And his 20 points pretty much sealed the deal offensively for the Bulls because bench-wise you had nothing going. That's definitely a key to Game 3 for me. Is I'd like to see more than 10 minutes for a guy named Coby White. I'd like to see more than 8 minutes for DJ. I'd like to see more than 7 minutes for Tristan Thompson. Tonight, the bench wasn't really going. Not a single soul on the bench. Maybe Javonte and, Dosunmu when he was in. No bench player saw more than 14 minutes tonight. So I would definitely like to see the bench squad get a little bit more playing time. But for the most part, you had Patrick Williams, had a great offense and defensive game tonight. He was huge for their success. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, steal, and a block. He came up clutch in that fourth quarter. Then Caruso, he made 3 threes, but for the most part, he was facilitating the basketball. I mean, you're still without Lonzo Ball. It doesn't look like he'll be back. That whole situation is kind of brutal. But Alex Caruso has been picking up the slack. And when you got guys like Coby White, Dosunmu not only getting that many opportunities off the bench, but not really producing in the limited amount of opportunities they have off the bench, you need a guy like Alex Caruso, kind of a multifaceted offensive and defensive threat. He's that utility guy. He really is that utility guy. So you don't win this game without Alex Caruso. It just doesn't happen. That's it for today, man. Let me know your thoughts on this series, this game 2. Go ahead, drop it in the comment, hit the like button, hit that sub button as always, and we'll see you for game 3, man. Peace.